Fantasy finally became reality, and we made it to Ears Provincial Park. Located about 90 minutes away from Vancouver, this is one of the biggest parks in BC. And, friendly reminder, if you weren't able to book a campsite and you still want to visit, you'll need to book a day pass. We didn't do that. But this time, we made it, and on the last weekend of summer, we were in for a couple of hot days. This place is like a scene from a movie. No, really, you've probably seen it many times. War for the Planet of the Apes, Twilight, Riverdale, just to name a few. There are 3 campgrounds in the park: Alouette, Gold Creek, and North Beach. We chose Gold Creek because of the close proximity to the beach. With 140 campsites, it is the largest of the 3 campgrounds, and at $35 a night, you get the best BC Parks has to offer. As for close proximity, we read a forum and it said there was a trail for easy access. We couldn't find it, and with over 80 kilometers in hiking trails, you could get lost here. This region is considered a temperate rainforest and receives almost 4 meters or 12 feet of rainfall each year. This high level of precipitation contributes to the lush, moss-covered forest and dense vegetation that characterizes the park. Some of the towering Douglas firs are over 500 years old. And it's obvious that there are still the remnants of the logging industry from over 120 years ago. And it's because of this that the park is the subject of haunting tales. One story is about a group of loggers from the early 1900s who tragically drowned. After a long day of chopping trees, they lashed their prizes together to float them across the lake. But fate took a cruel turn. As they started across the lake, a huge storm blew in. It turned violent and began crashing waves down upon the loggers, breaking apart their makeshift raft and throwing the men into the icy depths. Their bodies were never found. But for over 100 years, some have seen shadowy figures emerging from the shorelines on foggy evenings, with faint cries and splitting wood heard in the distance. Of course, we knew nothing of this going in, although in the back of our minds we had this eerie feeling. Nonetheless, we blissfully plodded along, enjoying this outdoor playground. I mean, look at this view, another lake, and more beautiful clear waters. And did you know that Alouette Lake is what's known as an oligotrophic lake? Oligotrophic lakes like Lake Tahoe, Lake Geneva, Lake Titicaca, and Alouette Lake are characterized by minimal algae growth, high oxygen levels, and deep, cold waters, making them ideal habitats for species of fish like the rainbow and cutthroat trout, and the kokanee salmon, which is a landlocked version of the sockeye salmon, spending its entire lifespan in fresh water. Despite having less biological productivity, these lakes support a thriving ecosystem that depends on a well-oxygenated environment. Like us. Fun fact, this lake has been designated as a future drinking water source because of its purity. Time for some paddleboarding. After a quick pump, you can glide around close to the shore on the calm waters. It took us about 25 minutes to get to Gold Creek. This is a popular spot for everyone. We got off to a later start and missed the Instagram-worthy shot. It would have been stunning to see this water illuminated by the morning sunlight. And this hidden gem really isn't so hidden anymore. As swimmers were crowding the beach and dotted the rocky shores up the creek, they were throwing a get off my lawn vibe. So, pro tip to get that shot, get there early, beat the crowds, and bask in the morning sunshine. The water was so warm and shallow here, we decided to anchor the boards down and have a little snack. We needed the hydration and the energy for the paddle back. Another fun fact, the park is actually designated as a dark sky preserve, which means it has almost zero light pollution, making it a great spot for stargazing and a hub for UFO sightings. One such sighting happened in 1994, where a man hiking near the park reported a strange metallic disc-like object seen during a full moon. Okay, so there's that. The ghost loggers, another lake monster, a Sasquatch the locals call the Watcher that only appears to people who disrespect the wilderness, And now, apparently in the 1970s, a family set up camp and never returned. Their tent and belongings were found by searchers, but no trace of the family were ever found. To this day, people claim to hear voices of children crying for help in the distance, and some hikers have found old toys in areas that have been uninhabited for decades. No wonder they used to call it supernatural British Columbia. Time to go, but first, a nice coffee.